Chapter 7, Evaluation. The announcement came without warning. It always did. At the start of third cycle, every display across the unevaluated sector flickered in unison, classroom walls, corridor panels, even the dim overhead strips in the sleeping quarters. A single message replaced everything else. Evaluation week initiated. All unevaluated students report to assigned sectors. No explanation. No delay. No opting out. Evaluation week wasn't optional. It was selection. Every unevaluated Terran would be assessed. Their skills. Their aptitude. Their potential. Their future. On Arc 34, you didn't choose who you became. The system did. The Academy Assembly Hall was one of the largest internal structures in the UE sector. It had to be. Hundreds of students filled it now, arranged in perfect formation across marked grid lines on the floor. The architecture rose high above them, tiered observation platforms, reinforced structural ribs, overhead light arrays casting sharp white illumination across the entire space. There were no shadows here. Nowhere to hide. Instructors moved between the lines like silent arbiters of fate. Some wore the clean ivory accents of the Peace Corporation. Others bore the sharp, controlled presence of directorate officials. A few, tall, armored, unmistakable, stood apart in Guard Corps insignia, observing with unreadable stillness. Scanning. Observing. Recording. Every movement tracked. Every reaction noted. Artemis stood in line between Nova and Rian. His posture was steady. Neutral. Controlled. But his mind was nowhere near the assembly hall. You ready? Nova whispered beside him, her voice low enough to avoid detection. No. She grinned slightly, eyes forward. Good. Means it matters. Rian shifted on his feet, adjusting his stance like he couldn't quite settle into stillness. I don't like this part, he muttered. Artemis barely heard him. His focus drifted, unbidden, persistent. Directorate logs. Encrypted files. Missing records. The masked figure. The insignia. The lie. 3 days. 3 days since he'd found the hidden log. 3 days of not touching it again. Not because he couldn't. Because he was waiting. Watching. Learning. But now everything was moving again. Artemis Golmir. The voice cut cleanly through the hall. His attention snapped forward. A panel unfolded from the floor in front of him, sleek, metallic, glowing with soft interface light. No hesitation. Artemis stepped forward. Assessment begins. The first test hit immediately. Reaction trial. The world shifted. The assembly hall vanished, replaced by a simulated environment, abstract space, sharp lines, shifting geometry. Targets appeared without warning. Artemis moved. Not fast enough to be impressive. But never late. Every motion was calculated, minimal, efficient, controlled. He didn't chase perfection. He avoided mistakes. The system recorded everything. Problem-solving simulation. A structural failure scenario. Collapsing framework. Limited resources. Time pressure. Most students tried to fix everything. Artemis didn't. He identified the failure point in seconds. Ignored secondary damage. Stabilized the core. Let the rest fail. The system adjusted. Logged deviation from standard protocol. Accepted the result. System diagnostics. A corrupted network map unfolded in front of him, nodes flickering, pathways breaking, data loops feeding into collapse. Artemis's eyes narrowed slightly. Familiar. Too familiar. He moved through it like he'd been here before. Tracing pathways. Identifying false signals. Isolating corrupted sectors. He didn't follow the suggested diagnostic flow. He built his own. Faster. Cleaner. Invisible to anyone who didn't know what they were looking for. Combat response. The environment shifted again. Close quarters. Confined corridor space. Hostile indicators. Artemis adjusted immediately. He wasn't the strongest. Wasn't the fastest. But he read movement. Anticipated positioning. Avoided direct confrontation whenever possible. Control the space. Limit exposure. End the threat efficiently. The simulation ended without flourish. No dramatic finish. Just, done. Test after test. No wasted motion. No unnecessary risk. Artemis moved through them all the same way. Not exceptional in everything. But precise. Controlled. Adaptable. The kind of performance that didn't stand out. Until you realized it never failed. Then came the final test. The one no one expected. The interface shifted again, but this time, it wasn't abstract. It was real. Or close enough. A full system network unfolded before him. Massive. Lead. Failing. Alerts flooded the display. Critical error, network instability. Cascade failure detected. Time limit active. Multiple systems were collapsing at once. Power distribution. Data routing. Life support subsystems. Too much. Too fast. Too complex to fix cleanly. Most would try anyway. Artemis didn't. His eyes sharpened. Finally. Something real. His hands moved. Fast. He didn't follow protocol. Didn't even look at it. He identified the core failure point within seconds. Not the first system to fail. The one causing everything else to collapse. He bypassed non-critical systems immediately, cut them off without hesitation. Let them die. Stabilized the core routing system. Rebuilt data flow manually through alternate pathways. Ignored warning prompts. Overrode system safeguards. Forced the network into a new configuration. The system fought him. Then. Yielded. The alerts slowed. Then stopped. Stability returned. The simulation froze. A single line appeared. Assessment complete. Artemis exhaled slowly. Not relief. Focus releasing. Just enough. That evening, the results were posted. They always waited. Long enough for anticipation to build. Long enough for doubt to settle in. Students gathered in clusters around the central display boards, voices overlapping, excited, anxious, relieved. Some celebrated. Some stood in stunned silence. Some walked away before even looking. Artemis stayed back. Watching. Observing the reactions. Patterns. Always patterns. Nova pushed through the crowd first, clearing a path with natural confidence. Rian followed close behind, trying not to get pulled into the chaos. Well? Nova called back. Artemis stepped forward. The display shifted as he approached. Names scrolled. Then. Stopped. Artemis Golmir. Recommended pathway, Engineering Systems Division. Rian's face lit up immediately. That makes sense, he said, almost relieved. You crushed the systems tests. Nova nodded. Yeah. You were built for that. Artemis didn't respond. He just stared at the result. Engineering Corp. The same path his parents had taken. The same systems they had worked in. The same systems that had recorded their deaths. The same systems that had buried the truth. Around him, the noise of the crowd continued, laughter, conversations, movement. It all felt distant. Muted. Irrelevant. Engineering wasn't just a recommendation. It was a key. Access to infrastructure. Maintenance networks. System-level permissions. Closer proximity to the places no one else could reach. Closer to the truth. Artemis's expression didn't change. No pride. No hesitation. Just clarity. Rian clapped him lightly on the shoulder. Hey, that's a good thing. Seriously. Nova studied him for a moment longer than she let on. You're already thinking about something else, she said. Artemis finally looked away from the screen. Yes. Nova smirked slightly. Good. Because she understood. This wasn't the end of something. It was the beginning. Artemis glanced back at his result one last time. Engineering Corp. He didn't feel pride. He felt something else. Access. This ends Chapter 7 of Artemis Book 1, Unevaluated. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe for more.